of you who aren't here, it's a good time. My apologies, this thing went silent. Can I get a mover and seconder to put everything before us on the floor today? Moved by Sam, seconded by Mandy. Thank you very much. Now we have just the two items, I believe. We've got 4.1 and then we've got the minutes. So let's vote on the minutes, and we'll consider 4.1 to be a matter for some discussion. So if we could get a vote on the minutes, please.
All those in favor of the minutes? Okay, that item carried.
Sure.
There we go. Maria, did you want to give us something of a non-lengthy overview?
Oh, non-lengthy, I don't know if I can promise that, but I did prepare just a little bit of an overview because it was a pretty comprehensive report.
Yeah.
So yeah, through the chair, based on input from the last task force meeting that we had in May, we took that feedback and reworked some of the campaign elements. So the report before you now outlines a more comprehensive plan for a citywide engagement campaign to inform the update to the city's community involvement framework, with a focus on how residents should be engaged regarding the consideration of sale of any city assets. So the plan is now estimated to cost $10,000, and it's proposed to be funded through Council Priority Reserve. Once and if it gets approval from this task force and then ultimately council. So the campaign is still multifaceted, integrating both online and in-person engagement methods, including surveys, workshops, focus groups, and outreach at city events between now and the end of the year to leverage the crowds that we already receive at city events and that we receive at our programming opportunities across our facilities. So instead of organizing standalone engagement events, the feedback from the task force at our last meeting was that it's not as inviting for people to come to City Hall for a meeting that is specifically only about engaging them on how they want to be engaged. People are very busy and we need to be really respectful of their time and make it as easy as possible for them to engage with us. So that's why we've been taking a bit of a different approach and are suggesting that the city set up engagement booths at established community events where we know that the venues will have high traffic. I'm thinking the Bulldogs, the venue is ours, it's the Civic Center. We can work very closely with the Bulldogs to set up an engagement booth so that we can engage the crowds that are coming through there, which would give us a pretty good diverse reflection of the population of the city, which is what we really want to be able to capture. So leveraging community events and activities. And then another addition to the plan is leveraging the collaboration that we're currently doing with Wilfrid Laurier University around the 2050 vision work. So we're in the process now of recruiting focus groups, again, that are representative of the diversity of the population, as well as a research panel. So we're going to engage all those people on the vision, because that's the primary campaign, but we're also going to engage them on the city budget for 2025, and I'm suggesting that we also engage them on this initiative because we'll have a really good diverse representative group of people that we can get some insights from that are data driven. So that's basically the overview. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for that. Andy, you want to go first?
Okay. Feel thrown under the bus right now. Okay, so I guess I have several questions and comments actually, which is probably why I'm being told to go first. But one of the things I wanted to just acknowledge is that from the last meeting that we had, I feel like it was kind of implied or made clear that people feel like this is about the assets, but it's also about engagement in general.
Sure.
So I just wanna make sure that point is clear,
Absolutely.
because there is a few spots where it just talks just about the assets in this report.
Yep, sure.
What I wanted to mention was, the idea of using the city facilities for the engagement. I wondered if that would be, we would likely then just engage the folks that are already engaged with us in ways, right? So I did wonder about that a little bit. I don't know if you want me to just keep going or if you want to respond or
I can respond
whatever
to
you'd rather.
each of them. Okay, sure. Keep going.
And then I guess that what the other question was then, so instead of maybe just only city events, can we engage with other partner events that are not ours? So that we're reaching a different crowd of folks that are maybe not already engaged with us or engaging with the city. I did wonder who the subject expert staff were, so I was just kind of, because that was mentioned in there. I also wanted to just acknowledge that I don't think a lot of people read the civic news. And so I wondered if there was any other print options that we could, maybe we do one in the civic news, but we do maybe, I don't know, like in the B scene or like what, I don't, sure. So that's just an example, not necessarily that one, but something, whatever else you guys think people might look at.
Sure.
And then I guess that my biggest question though overall was just reading through it. What I had wondered is, what are we doing here that we don't do with all of our other engagement that we're doing? Because I mean, like, I like the idea of these, I forgot the wording they used for them, but the booths in different locations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we've seen that with green bin and with different things. And all of the strategies that we've employed here too are the same things that we generally do. So I was just wondering if there's something I missed, that there's something in there that's kind of different that we're gonna do with this engagement process for that value.
Okay, I'm gonna try to remember to.
I can
respond to them in
repeat
order.
things, I know
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
lot, but I
Okay,
have a lot
so
of thoughts today.
yeah, no, that's great. That's why we're here. So the first one was, with respect to the, events? No, okay, so go ahead, just give me a couple
You
of
already
triggers.
kind of already answered the fact that it's not just gonna be about the assets, you acknowledge that's not.
Yes,
what we're doing, right?
yes, and so
Yeah.
what I meant to do, although I can certainly fine tune the language, was the community involvement framework is a guideline for all
Right,
engagement
and
that
that's
is
what
done by all city staff about anything that we wanna engage on. Just the mandate of this particular task force was to make sure that there was a very defined process in place whenever we engage about a city asset. So just wanted to spotlight that, but yes, you're right, it's all encompassing. Okay, second one.
The second one was about the partner events and reaching out to folks that are not normally
Sure.
engaged with us.
Yeah, so the Bulldogs is a really good example of that. We've never used a Bulldogs opportunity to engage. And so that would be a partnership with the Bulldogs Association. And I know we get, thousands of people who don't typically engage with us, hopefully interested in giving us their opinion. So that's one, and yes, we can certainly look at other organizations and then make that part of the update to the framework. So that we're working with United Way and Ribfest and organizers of big events in the city that are gonna get a nice cross-section.
Yeah, because I agree with your comments about not having standalone events necessarily. Because
Yes.
we won't get the turnout that way.
Right,
But I also just wanted to make sure we weren't doing just city events.
yes, yep,
Do you want me to ask you the next one?
yes.
So who are the subject experts?
Okay, so that's a very good question too. So in our organization, we have staff that service other staff. So for example, communications and community engagement is like an internal agency for staff, and staff are like our clients. So we call them, if we're doing a campaign for parks, or we're doing a campaign for engineering, or we're doing a campaign for planning, we call them the subject expert staff.
Right.
Because we know a little bit about everything, and they know a lot about specific subjects.
So in this subject, then who are the subject experts? That's that.
So it would be the people that run the events,
Okay.
like, so we
Like
would work with
event
event staff and
Okay,
parks
that
and
was what I was getting
recreation,
to.
and yes, for sure. Yep.
And then, or we've talked about the print stuff. One
Yeah,
thing
so I
did
can
this-
speak to that,
Go
I can
ahead.
speak to that. So, yeah, so civic news we use primarily when we need to provide notice, and it's legislatively mandated that we use a daily newspaper that is in your market. And so that's what we primarily use civic news for. We also advertise in, you know, the Thursday edition of the Brantford Expositor, that seems to get more people, because that goes to all households. And then we also do online with the Expositor, and we also do Google Ads. So those are, you know, that's what we look at to get a good reach and frequency of the audience, not just civic news.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have one more question that I forgot to ask the first time
Yeah.
around, so, I wanted to know if this committee could review the survey before it goes out, because I think that would be really
Sure.
important.
Yeah, sure. I don't know, do we need another meeting to do that, Emma, or could we do that through clerks?
We can do that through clerks.
Okay. Sure, yes,
All right, I think that's,
absolutely.
I think that's the end of my questions for now, Mr.
You
Chair. Thank
probably
you very
left
much.
nothing for anyone else.
You told me to go first.
Sam, did you want to jump in with anything? Okay, I always like to ask. Michael, you got your hand up? I can't tell because it's cloudy.
Yes, I do.
Go ahead, please.
I heard you mention the different avenues we look with regards to newspapers and getting the news out there. Something that almost everybody in the city gets is be seen. Have we looked at
Yeah.
putting it in there as well? Okay,
Yep.
just
Yeah,
wanted to
Be-
double check that.
Yeah, Be Seen is it's a great publication. It has an online edition too. We have a really good relationship with them. We advertise all of our events in there, so I think there would be like a natural correlation to say we're also gonna be doing some engagement at the events.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so my turn.
Mhm.
We still do want to do public hearings, okay? We'll do one here,
Okay,
do one, I don't know. You could suggest locations.
Mhm.
I would suggest 3 of them, a daytime, an evening, and a weekend, okay? Just to have a formal process as well.
Okay.
Right? Just so we can say we did it.
okay.
All right.
Okay.
And my other question is regarding something that's called a research panel.
Yeah.
What the heck is that?
Okay, yeah, no, it's a very good question. So, I thought I sort of explained it in there, but maybe not well enough. So, I think I mentioned at the last meeting that, ways to engage people have evolved in the scientific research world, because it's a lot harder to get a hold of people. They're savvy to market researchers calling them, they don't accept the call. So if you want to interview people and do it randomly, then you have to basically make 1,500 to 2,000 calls just to reach 500 people, which is the threshold that we like in a city our size to say that it is statistically relevant to the size of our population. So Laurier is working on new methods to do research, and one of them is recruiting a research panel. So what you do is you go out and you find people that represent different age groups, different ethnicities, different income levels, different occupations, and you make sure that you have a representative group of people that have different opinions that are willing to weigh in on issues that the city wants to ask them about.
So what's the methodology of selection for these guinea pigs?
Yeah, so Wilfrid Laurier is doing the methodology, and they're working closely with my team and with Aaron. Aaron is leading this effort with Wilfrid Laurier, and they have a criteria that people have to meet before they are selected to be part of the panel.
What
And
is the
there is an
criteria?
incentive, there is an
What
incentive.
is the criteria?
So it's their demographics, primarily their demographics. Are you a senior? Are you youth? Are you, because we want an equal representation of a number of those groups.
I'd really like to see the basis for this
Okay,
in a report to this committee. And it really makes the hair go up on the back of my neck to think that somebody is cherry picking people who will then provide what is put forward as an honest opinion representing a community. Okay.
Yeah, I
I'm
can
it makes me
definitely
very
do.
nervous. Okay, so if you can provide us
Yeah.
with that as well. And the other question I had for you, Maria, it's not in the report, But, I used to get, emails from survey companies. And I can't for the life of me, I met the one guy in Toronto at an event. I can't think of the names of the companies, but they would send me requests to participate in a survey. And for my efforts, which might take 5 minutes, they bestow upon me the princely sum of $5. I wonder if you might have a look at that as well, okay? Because those folks would have access to databases that would certainly lead to thousands of
Oh,
opportunities
you mean
to
established
explore.
research companies? that
Established
already have-
research
Yeah,
companies,
yeah,
yes, okay.
we could do
Yeah.
some research.
I think that has a hell of a lot, sorry. I think that has quite a bit more merit than a cherry-picked, left-wing gang of folks from Wilfrid Laurier telling us what they want, okay?
But
Okay.
through you, I just wanna
Yeah.
qualify that we're very involved in that process. They're not doing anything independently without us, without Aaron and I.
Not to your knowledge, yes, okay. Not to your knowledge, yes, okay. Excellent. Anyway, those are my thoughts, okay?
Okay.
So we
Yeah.
want the public hearings, and we also we wanna know as much about this process as we
Yeah,
can find out.
understood.
And then we'll decide whether we wanna have that as part of our community engagement process on this topic, okay?
Okay, yeah.
And, I just wanted to highlight the other thing that Mandy mentioned, that we definitely wanna see whatever the public is gonna see. We wanna see that beforehand. Okay?
Sure.
Yeah, in its
Yeah.
finished format, so that we can,
Do we need some formal, okay,
I
I
was
was gonna.
I was just gonna
Yeah.
suggest that we put this all, because we're directing staff, so.
Yeah.
yeah,
If we can just put it
Yeah,
in.
and then
in the
having
minutes.
a vote on it, yeah.
So I can add them all together.
Okay.
The first one is that staff be directed to report back to the task force with the analysis of the research panel and how
Yeah.
they're doing their.
selection process.
Yeah.
Criteria.
Yep.
Complement, numbers.
And do we put a timeline to when I
Yeah,
get back to them with that?
yeah, so, our next meeting probably won't be until, it was gonna be February, right, with the next report? Do
We
wanna
could do one
schedule
before that, sure,
Are we thinking maybe like beginning of November?
sure.
Do you think that's an attainable timeline? Okay,
Yep.
is that agreeable to everyone?
As
Okay.
long as it's good with you,
It's good
because
with
we
me.
don't have any work to do in advance of this, we're just, you
Yep.
know,
Yep.
Okay,
we do
so-
nothing but meet, right?
So we'll say, let's say Q4 of 2020.
Sure, yeah,
Is that
and
agreeable?
then we'll pick a date.
Q4 of
Yeah, so I don't want it to push all the time.
Yeah. Okay, and then, that staff be directed to ensure that we are holding 3 public hearings, for the consultation. Is that, okay, that's
Yep.
agreeable?
Daytime, evening, weekend, those would be the
Yeah,
3
daytime, evening,
at
weekend.
locations throughout the city or city hall. I get-
So 3
location doesn't
different
matter.
locations.
3 different locations.
3 different
yeah, yeah,
locations.
That wasn't good.
Yeah,
3 different locations.
what else was there?
There was one more. What was that last one?
It was a survey.
The
Oh, the
research
survey.
panel, and the survey
Reviewing the
to,
survey.
Questionnaire, survey, documents.
for review.
Yeah, so we can just distribute it to the committee, but if there's any substantial changes, it might have to be through an amendment, but we are now holding a meeting in November, so maybe we can
Yeah.
bring that.
So what if I provided it before the November
Yeah.
meeting, just so it doesn't slow us
Yeah, that'd be
down?
excellent,
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Bye.
all right.
Okay, perfect. So those are the 3 things that staff will be directed to go forward with.
Okay,
And
so last call, excuse me. By the way, Councilor Carpenter did not infect me with COVID. I
Yes,
checked.
COVID?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know
yeah,
that.
he had COVID at the
At the
flag raising,
flag raising.
yeah,
no.
He found it after the fact,
Oh,
I would
yeah.
say,
Oh.
but
yeah.
Dan, nothing could ever infect you.
Well, definitely not, well, I won't say. So any final thoughts, folks, maybe?
no, I just wanted to ask, the part of it partnering with other events, that doesn't need to go into that, right? You're just gonna do that automatically?
Oh, that'll be in the minutes,
Okay.
so,
As
but
long
if
as
you
it
wanna
doesn't
add
need
it
go
to
into
be,
there.
you know,
I trust you guys however you wanna do that, I just.
yeah,
I think if you're agreeable to adding that in there, we don't need a formal amendment for
okay,
that.
sure.
I'm comfortable with that.
When you're at the Bulldogs games, make sure you don't get between the patrons and beer.
Duly noted,
And the washrooms.
Yes.
yes.
There's a meeting space outside that would probably be appropriate.
So the only final comment that I had was just that I'm really glad that we're looking into how people want to be engaged.
Yes,
So that was what I wanted to
Definitely.
add. And I had a lot of questions, a lot of comments, but.
yeah, no, I appreciate it.
But I'm really glad that we're doing this.
Yeah, it's overdue. Yes,
So
definitely.
thank you for your hard work.
Okay,
You might want to have your people wear earplugs too if you're at the Madhouse on Market.
The madhouse on Monday. Yeah, it would be before the
Mover and,
game.
mover and seconder.
we got it at the outset.
You for all three, everything?
Yeah. Okay, so final vote on all this, final vote on the amendment, sorry.
Yeah.
Amendment vote first, those in favor. That carries. And is there any additional comment on the resolution as amended? And we'll vote on that one as well. Those in favor? That's unanimous as well. Thank you all. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Michael?
Yes.